So let's take a look at some of the options for setting up a shot. Starting at the bottom left, we have our lie indicator. When we mouse over that, we also get the club distances. In this case, we're on the tee, so the lie is not affecting the shot. It's 100%. We're getting 100% of the normal power on the shot. If we put a ball in the rough over here, in practice round, we can right-click and click drop ball. Now we have still a pretty good lie in the rough, but 95 to 103% is the effect that we're getting from the rough. This 99% here is the average. If we drop again in the rough, we might get a slightly different lie. This time 91 to 101. Moving to the right, we have the shot options. The selected club here is the 3-iron. We can change that by clicking the arrows. We can change the power that we're going to put on the shot, how hard we're going to try and hit it, by using the plus and minus. If we go below 100%, we're going to get a shot generally that comes off lower and with less spin, rolls out a little bit more. And if we go over 100%, we are going to get the opposite. We have a shot that is higher with more spin, affected by the wind a little bit more, and shots over 100% are less accurate than 100% shots. Shots below 100% are less accurate as well, but not to the same degree as overswinging. And if we can hit 75% or 50%, we don't lose any accuracy. So when you're laying up to a wedge distance, it's helpful to lay up to a full wedge or 75 or 50%. Moving along, we have the shot shaping here. We can go left for a draw, right for a fade. It'll tell us approximately, in this case, a 12-yard hook that we're putting on the shot. A good way to measure that and to measure yardages on the course in general is to set a target and then use this on the bottom right, this distance to the target from the cursor. So to measure 12 yards, we can go right about there, that's 12 yards. And this is just an approximate yardage for the curve on the shot. Okay, then we can do a high shot or a normal shot or a punch shot. High shots come off higher, obviously, land softer, fly a little bit shorter. You can see it go down from 218 to 212. But they're quite a bit more affected by the wind and a little bit less accurate. Punch shots are the opposite. They come off lower, land harder, roll out more, and are also a little bit harder to control than a normal shot, but aren't affected by the wind hardly at all. The computer assist options here, there's another tutorial that covers those, so I won't go into depth. But basically they give you options for either choosing, letting the computer set up a shot for you, letting the computer aim to the flag for you or the center of the green, or letting the computer find a shot that goes as close as possible to the spot that you click. On the bottom right, we have the wind speed and direction, the slope of the hole. In this case, the shot is 5.2 degrees downhill. This carry yardage does account for that. The 144 yards does account for the fact that the shot is downhill. We can go into the preferences and change that, so we have to calculate that manually, or probably not calculate it, but get a estimate on how much that's going to affect it. And then we have the rough is also affecting that carry yardage, so we don't have to account for that 96% on average. That's already accounted for with the 144 yard carry. Again, we can go into preferences and we can change that, so we have to do all that manually. 220 yards is the distance to the flag. If we click on that, we'll aim directly at the flag. And then moving along, we have some yardages relative to the cursor position. So from the ball, from the flag, and from the target, and you can see those change as we move the mouse around the screen. The yardage from the ball is also displayed right over the top of the mouse cursor. The tree icon indicates the chance of a ball hitting trees along the line from the ball to the mouse on a normal trajectory given the club that's chosen here, so in this case a 9-iron. So as we move the shot into the tree area here, we can see the chance of hitting trees go up. And it's up to you to determine how a 9-iron is going to come off in this case. The tree percentage is just going to show you what the chance of hitting trees is on the normal trajectory. You have to determine what shot it's going to be about on a normal trajectory to determine where you might want to check to see if it's going to hit trees. A couple other things about full shots. When we set the target, we are only setting the direction of the shot. And it's the direction that the shot's going to start in. So for example, if we want to play, let's put a ball in the fairway again. If we want to play a shot that draws into this flag, let's say we want to play a 8-yard draw, we're going to have to aim right of the hole for the start, and then it's going to draw in towards the flag. Same goes for the power of the shot. We're only setting the direction here. So if we want to, for example, if we have a shot from right here, we have a 60-yard wedge shot, just aiming by the hole isn't going to make it go that distance. We have to take less power on the shot. And then with wedge shots, the draw and fade option changes to spin. More spin, less spin, so we can fine-tune how the shot reacts on the green. So let's take a look at a short game shot here then. Under short game, we still have the same lie indicator. Now we have different clubs that are available and whether they correspond to a chip, a pitch, a lob, or a flop shot. When we click on one of the options, we get a line representing the carry of the shot, and then the target representing where the shot would roll out to on a completely flat green. In this case, the green slopes towards us and from left to right, and since we have it set to automatically read the green on these shots, when we click the shot type, it's going to aim to the left to account for that automatically. And we can turn that off in preferences and read the greens ourselves. The lower shots, the chip shots, are generally simpler shots. They're easier to execute. But there are times when, for example, if we put a ball over here, our only options to get it close to the hole are the higher lob and flop shots, which are a little bit more difficult to pull off. For putting, we have a 31.1 foot putt here. The putt difficulty represents the difficulty of the putt relative to other putts of the same distance. So in this case, negative 0.29 means it's a little bit easier than the average putt. That's because we're going pretty much straight up the hill here. Uphill putts are a bit easier. Three options. We can hit a normal putt, which aims to run the putt about 1.5 feet past the hole, should it miss. That's a good compromise between the right speed for it to hold its line and go in, and not too much speed for it so it doesn't run well past the hole. An aggressive putt, on the other hand, makes sure that you get it to the hole, gives you the best chance of making the putt, but it also is going to leave you with a longer putt if you miss. And then a lag putt just attempts to get it as close to the hole as possible. The chance of making the putt is going to be lower, but you're not going to 3-putt as often.